some hot chocolate, sweetie. Good morning and welcome to Mo Knows, featuring me, Monica Mo Justice. Okay, I've been up all night, so I am not in the mood. What did I name this? What the fuck people doing? What's going on? Hey Darren, what's up?
Well, make sure you take the vitamin D.
Take the vitamin. So I need every vitamin up in there.
You take the vitamin D help.
Okay. Maybe I'll just leave myself like this. I'm still in my pinup do. Oh, you know what? I'm screaming. I told you so in my head. That's all I'm saying. I'm screaming. I told you so in my head. The one thing in life you cannot walk away from is toxic individuals in your family by design. That's it. That's it. That's everything. I'm having issues trying to figure out how to best put this together. Hey Karen, good morning. Good morning. Really trying to put this together to make some kind of sense. But what one will not do, one will not break me. In the midst of everything, one will not break me. I'm built too strong for this. I'm Teflon's on. I'm a Teflon's on. Okay, I know that to be. If you're hearing some strange noise, T is using the Keurig, and that's it. And you know the weirdest thing about it is I'm no longer as intimate on this internet. Like, you know, this is my channel, this is my baby, this is all about me. This is Mo space, right? And I can no longer come here and just be honest about my life on here. And you know why? Because I've been violated on here, on this space. So this is an environment that I used to be able to come and be like, yo, this is what happened in my day, blah, 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 and laugh it up with y'all, cut it up, and move on to the rest of my day. And I don't even have that environment or that platform anymore that I feel like I could do that because of the violations around here, the people that capitalize off of other people's misfortunes because they don't have, like, your own life can be tons of content that somebody else can relate to and really appreciate, hold a conversation and help you move forward from. But in this structure, it's very hard to even have that or experience that to a full degree because people have been so destructive in how they receive other people's content, because they have none of their own. And because their real lives are so fucked up, I mean, I just have to call it what it is, right? Because they are their own crackheads. They are their own, they are their own worst enemies. So they can't come here and tell you their life story because it is so fucked up that they're the individual with the fucked up life. So let's just make this clear, right? You will have somebody who's a drug addict have a channel critiquing somebody who is not a drug addict, who may come to you and say, all right, right now I'm between locations, so I'm living inside of a hotel till I get my apartment. Guess how many people that happen to every year? Some people, leases run out. And they have to move from one apartment to the next, and the next is not even ready. So they go and they stay inside of a hotel for a minute. It becomes a scandal on here. Hey, Mr. Walker, it becomes a scandal on here to some drug addict who is taking their life and decided to shoot it up and get high, wanting to find a moment to critique somebody else. When you are your own worst nightmare, you're the one walking through your pain. You're living through your pain because it's self-inflicted. When other people just have life happens, there's two different sides of an equation. There's people that are so destructive to their own bodies, their own spirits, their own souls, that everything that happens is the end of the world. Then there are some people who are just go get them, go get it. I'm going to survive this. Oh, shucks, somebody threw, what is this? Somebody gave me this. Damn, this thing I could receive. Let me show it to you. It says, a successful woman is one who can build a firm foundation with the bricks others have thrown at her. Let that settle in for a moment. Let's talk about some words. This morning, we're going to do wordplay. We're going to do wordplay. When you could take the shit people throw at you, the hard times, the hard events, and you can take that shit and make your way with it. Let's talk about those people. You know anybody like that in your life? I know her. I know her so well. I've lived her life at every aspect of it. Sometimes I'll be like, why don't I have the willpower to give up, to give in? Oh, you know why? Because I continue to do the right things in my life. I'm content with I'm going the right ways in my life. I don't wrong people unnecessarily. I will put up or shut up. I will put up or shut up when I need to do that. Let me just make sure. Hey, MTG. Wait a minute. MTGV TV. Let me see. Okay. So I guess we're gonna go through this. Did I turn off this computer last night? I don't know if I turned it off because I had it in the bedroom with me. But in any event, in life, what I've learned with it is that there are some people that are depressed and miserable. And we touched on it yesterday when I was talking about the movie. Good morning, Evolvement. When I was talking about the movie Wonder Woman, the newest Wonder Woman movie. And I said the theme for that movie was jealousy, envy, looking at somebody else's life and wanting to be like that person. And in this movie, a person made a wish, like, I wish I could be like Wonder Woman. But when you take on Wonder Woman's personality and Wonder Woman's shit and you can't handle it, you can't wish to be like her. You didn't even know, like on the outside, she wished to be like, I think Wonder Woman's name is Diana, whatever fuck her name is in the movie. She could be Monica for all I care. But one of the characters wanted to, she was just like, not knowing that the person she's dealing with in society, the Wonder Woman lady, it has these superpowers that she's Wonder Woman, right? Instead, she's looking at her and she's like, holy crap, I want to be like her. Everything. She walks correctly. She talks correctly. She is not afraid. She's strong. She's all these characters, all these good attributes that Wonder Woman has outside of being Wonder Woman, like when she's just a regular person in society, right? She's strong, she's vivacious. So this is another woman and she's intelligent, she's witty. So here's her colleague who is strong and witty and vivacious also, right? In her own way, but she's a little klutzy, walking on heels. She doesn't. She's beautiful, but she doesn't display it. She's hidden behind the wrong clothes. It's the Clark Kent type of personality, wearing the glasses, like she's sheltered in place in herself, and she can't see this out. So what she does, she makes this wish to be Wonder Woman, to be like her, who she doesn't know has these superpowers. But as she transforms, and her wish is granted, and as she transforms into the strong qualities of Wonder Woman, she loses her own identity in the process. I've experienced that in my life. You understand? When you're the eldest sister, some people look up at you and they want to be like you. And they should. You should always be admiring your elders, right? And they should be nurturing and willing to take care of you. But when do you say to yourself, I'm on the wrong path, I'm taking the wrong road? That's just crazy to me. This is doing too much for me. This is just doing way too much. I only need cheek in my life. Way too much for me. So I have to balance a lot of bullshit. Really balance a lot of bullshit. And balance and measure other people's expectations, and come back and try to be the nurturing person and tell somebody you are wrong. You are wrong in how you think. You are wrong in what you're thinking. What can I say out here to my channel, to be, on my platform? What can I say today in the social space? I can say I'm damn proud of me. I don't give a freaking any who doesn't appreciate me. I appreciate me, and I know what I bring to the table. And had I not had the experience with Private Ryan's fiance this year, and understand that no good deed goes unpunished. You can have the best of intentions and mean the best in any circumstance and still come up short. No good deed goes unpunished. It is not, it is not, that's just the way life is when it comes down to doing good deeds. So for those of you, and I'm really afraid of some stuff. But my father is in the hospital, and I yesterday took him to urgent care because he needed to go to urgent care. And I did not hesitate to take my dad to urgent care when he asked. So I went. I said, Dad, what you want to do today? He said, I want to go to urgent care. He said, I want to go to the doctor. I'm having problems. I'm having this shortness of breath. I'm having problems breathing. It's time we go. Boop. That's all you need to tell me. He said, whenever you're ready. I said, I'm ready. Came, put on my hat, put on my scarf. Not scarf, but got myself together. Round up T, because you know I need my warrior with me. Round up T, we take them to urgent care. When we get to urgent care, there's a line outside of urgent care. We all know why there's lines outside of urgent care right now, because people are going in for Rona testing. People are, doing the things that they do. Hold up. I'm trying to pop out the chat. So I take my dad to urgent care, go and I stand on the line for urgent care, leaving my dad inside the car. When I'm the next person online, there's one person in front of me. I return to the car to get T and my dad to come out the car. I set my dad on the bench outside of urgent care. Oh God, it's so beautiful in Long Island. I set my dad outside the bench there. I get to walk into urgent care and I announce that I am bringing my dad here and I give his name. And they're like, oh, I thought he was deceased. And not so many nice words. Are you sure? I need to see his ID. So I usher in T, because I'm keeping my dad distance away from everybody because I don't want my dad to get Rona. And the lady looks at him and she's like, oh my God, that really is him. Like, whatever. So she brings him and comes inside. She's giving him immediately into a room. And she said the last time we saw him, he was on his deathbed, whatever. They call in the doctors. They're clearing out the whole urgent care waiting area. Everybody got to go, blah, 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 blah. Right. And so they're looking at me and they're like, and who are you? And I'm like, I'm his daughter. Now y'all all know my sister has been handling everything since the fire related to them. So I'm a new face in a new place. The facility that I took my father to, and this is part of the journey issue this morning or yesterday morning, was the place I normally took him didn't exist anymore. So it was further down the road, and that place didn't exist anymore because of Rona. They closed that down. They opened a different facility. So it was things we didn't know that was out of our control, trying to get him to urgent care. But in my head, I was like, why the fuck are we going to urgent care? Because if something is really urgent, let me tell you what urgent care is. Urgent care is a convenient double-step process to collecting urgent money out of patients. Because you pay the urgent care, and the urgent care wishes you off to the hospital anyway. So they do his test, his things, the levels, well, whatever it was very low. I can't give y'all medical shit because I ain't the medical shit. You understand? I'm the legal shit. I'm not the medical shit. I'm not a medical anything. So options become available. They're like, we have to take him to the hospital. What hospital do you normally take him to? Well, first, these people were like, we're going to try to bring down his, apparently his pressure was up, but they first was working with the oxygen. Then they were like, do you have an oxygen tank at home? I was like, I don't know. So I have to call my sister and I'm like, hey, do we have an oxygen tank in her house? So she's like, no, the oxygen tank left when home hospice left. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, we might have to get one of those oxygen tanky things because they put, and I'm doing it just like I'm telling y'all right now. This is my whole attitude because the one thing I learned from Cheek is that someone, when they're in their moments in medical stuff, they need the person they confide in the most to be upbeat. They don't need you to be overwhelmed and upset and erratic. They need you to be upbeat. So I said to my dad, I'm just like, hey. So I'm on the phone with my sister and I'm like, okay, so we gotta get him one of these little air things because his numbers is looking pretty good. We got from 68 or 88. It was one of the eight. He was at 99, we're taking the oxygen. So he's like, yeah, I feel real good. So then they said, well, we're gonna have to call EMS because his pressure is up. He's on the verge of stroke. These are stroke numbers. So I'm like, Daddy, we're going to have to do something because something's not good here. So they called for the ambulance. I text T because T had to go sit in the car because she was one of the people that had to leave, and there was some other people in there throwing up fits inside of urgent care that didn't want to leave. But so they had to leave. So my dad was like, what do you think, Monica? I said, well, we're going to see what they say. So EMS arrives, EMS does their assessment, and they're like, we're going to take them into the car. We're going to do some more things with the echo, something, run those and see where we are. And then I said, well, my sister said that she prefer you take them to this hospital. She gives me a fucking address of the hospital. Now, I've been around this scene a little bit, right? The hospital once had a different name because I worked at the hospital in the blood bank when I worked in the blood bank years and years ago, right? So she says the hospital on Community Drive, 300 Community Drive, but it's not the main hospital. It's the one they built in the back. So, bitch, how was it though? But I'm just like, okay, so if you've been doing this, right? I've been doing something for a minute. The shit is gonna roll off my tongue like it was yesterday. You can ask me what hospital Chico was at, I'll tell you downstate. You can ask me what nursing home he went to, I can tell you that. I won't be telling y'all that because y'all be doing all kinds of shit on the internet. But if you ask me anything about his care, I can answer it down to the very last hour that I saw him, 11 o'clock on a Tuesday. I can answer all of those questions, 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. And I can tell you that it was raining that night. Like I could give you every detail of his care because I was there and I know it. It's just second nature. But if I had been overwhelmed, overworked, underappreciated, stressed out, COVID written a couple of days ago, I may not be able to answer all of those questions and all of that. This coronavirus is getting people where it hurts. It's taking your essence away. Don't let these times drain you. Anyway, I get in the ambulance with him. I'm sitting there while they're running whatever test they make. Very cheery-eyed, attending. He took off his mask to talk because he wanted to make sure that he was heard better because they had some goggle looking thing on with these things on the side and shit, some special masks doohickeys they got going on. So anyway, I'm sitting there and I was like, it's okay, we good. They tell me what hospital they have to take him to because his y'all using the words vital, so whatever they was running was not good enough to take a trip for 30 minutes to go across town to the hospital of our choice. Now, I'm on the phone with my sister and I'm like, instead of bringing my ass over here to urgent care, we could have went to this other hospital in the first place. Walked in, and if his doctors is over there, why are we over here? Well, I ain't say that, but that's just a thought. In any event, they take him to a hospital that every person my age who has lost a parent has lost a parent in this hospital. Now, granted, we all had elderly parents. We were blessed, like we were blessed with being the smart kids on the block. We were blessed with living inside our communities that we lived in and growing up in an environment that we grew up in that was great. Having affluent black parents coming from two-parent homes. You understand? Every kid in my neighborhood that I grew up with that lives on these blocks here all had a mother and a father in their home. It wasn't until I got to probably high school and I got in a more diverse community that was no longer just inside our zoned area, our encatchment. When we interacted outside of our thing, did we encounter single parents? All my life, I've had a mother and a father. And most of my friends that come from my young age had a mother and a father. Most of my junior high school, 6 years, we go way back from junior high school. We was in junior high school together. My bestest friend, that I'm the godmother of her son, we come from elementary school together. All of our friends had a mother and a father inside their home. Like we don't know anything. We don't know these hardships out here. I was blessed to become knowledgeable of the hardship because my mother was a foster mother, and we had other people's children in our homes who were living those devastated lives. Those single family lives, those abandonments, all those stories, but we didn't have them. But every person that I know, parents have been through that hospital, and it is the worst. It's like where they send your parent to die. And parents know this too. So with that being said, when they suggested this environment for him, I just look at my daddy and I say to him, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. Because all we have to do is what? Get these numbers down. Get these numbers right. I don't know how we got these numbers wrong, but we just got to get these numbers right. So we're going to go there and we're going to get these numbers right. It'll probably just be an overnight thing. They're not drastic. They are drastic, but they're not that drastic. Okay. So about 15 minutes later, I get a phone call, and it's the ER doing the registration because they got to do their billing. So the billing person calls me, transfers me over to the doctor's unit. They tell me they got to, take care of him, whatever. So then about 30 minutes later, I get a phone call from the doctor's office. So now we're sitting, just sitting around waiting, basically. But you can't go in the hospital or anything, so they're calling you on the phone. The doctor calls me and he says what his course of action is going to be. And he said, if you like, you can come inside. One person can sit with him. I was like, oh, okay, Dr. Chang. I was like, all right, well, let me go drop T off at home and let T, and then I'll come back. But I did a little detour. I took T to go get her nails done at the nail salon because I figure I'm a holistic person. I'm trying to keep everybody leveled. So after T gets her nails done, you understand, I'm fumbling around with my mother who has my number blocked on her phone. I don't know why. So I go over to her job to make sure. And shout out to you motherfuckers on this YouTube who ain't never worked in the community that I lay in, ain't never worked. And my 80-year-old mother has got her ass out there working in the middle of the Rona. She's still at her job. So my mom is at her job, and I go over there to check her phone. I hadn't been in her job for about 6, 7 years. I had to endure the security guard from hell. And my mother was sitting right over there, and I tap on the window because she could see me through the window. And she's telling the security guard, yeah, I don't know who that is. What the fuck you mean you don't know who this is? I'm like, come on, the mask cannot be that serious. If I said to the guard, I'm my daughter. She's like, Monica? I was like, yeah. She's like, sometimes your mother be out of it. So I went there to fix her phone. Then I dropped T off and I went about my business, going back to the hospital now to sit for the evening with my dad. And I get there and they tell me that the policies have changed and you can no longer sit there. So guess what? I'm not disappointed. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I'm not disappointed. Yeah, my mother didn't know who I was. She was like, so that, and I could see her like, just tell her, like, I don't want to be bothered. Like, bitch, what you mean you don't want to be bothered? This is what you deal with when you're dealing in this world of stuff. So I go ahead and I take the disappointment. I text my sister and I'm like, so they won't let me inside because they have changed. Hey Boogie, they've changed the policy. The doctor that spoke to me, he said he hadn't been there for a couple of days and apparently they stopped that policy. So he was profusely apologetic and it's not. So she was like, so you can't sit with him? I was like, no, but I gave them his broken cell phone. And the phone is broken because some mechanism don't work on it or whatever. And we've been trying to replace it. But I gave him his phone and then I just went and sat inside my car, gathering my thoughts, got an action plan. Come home, I don't even think I've eaten. I haven't eaten. But I come home, I sit down, I do the book club last night. Shout out to the book club. We're almost wrapping this one up. We got 4 hours left of the book. Or is it 6 hours? We got a couple of hours left of the book. I think we got like 6 days and 4 hours. But anyway, I do my book club, whatever. Then I get a phone call from my dad, and I get several phone calls from him. And I'm just like, all right, I'm going to let this play itself out. Then I'm getting phone calls since 3 o'clock in the morning. So I called now the hospital because my sister did call me back. She did give me an update. She did tell me what the status was, what their treatment plan was going to be, yada, yada, yada. Everything seems like it makes sense to me. Nothing doesn't seem unreasonable until 3 a.m. in the morning. So I call up, la 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 la, introduce myself, la 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 la, and I get a Jamaican lady on the phone, right? Worst scenarios for me, Indians and Jamaicans, the Trinidadians. So let me get to the Queen's dynamic. Trinidadians, Trinis, whatever y'all want to, not trannies, like the transvestite stuff y'all be going into. I'm talking about this dialect. This people that don't know how to fucking talk to people type people. You understand? With their approaches of being uncivilized with their tongue. People don't know how to watch their speech around motherfuckers who do understand, who do have nice hand work and mouth work that coincide with each other. I'm one of those bitches, okay? I can go from 0 to 380 degrees instantaneously with somebody with a slick fucking tongue, okay? And Trinidadians and Jamaican women in medical facilities tend to be those people because they tend to speak very directly, or maybe not too so directly. Either way, they are a challenge for themselves, not for me. The lady gets on the phone. valid confirms that he's in the hospital, but it tells me that we are still inside the emergency area. And she says, I said, oh, well, that's unacceptable. I thought by now he would be in a bed, or at least I was reassured at 7 p.m. that he would be by midnight or whatever in a bed. So I was assuming that his phone calls to me was that he was going to be transitioning to a bed, and I was trying to just let my father go to sleep because I just assumed when he called me he had been moved into a room, and then I was calling to find out, make sure, because my mother was like, make sure the TV is put on and all the extras, right? So that was not the case. So I was a little bit alarmed. So we moved the conversation to speak to the doctor. But instead, I got an administrator, a Jamaican administrator. So my senses went up when the lady answered. So I was like, are you the doctor? So she's like, I understand that you asked to speak to someone in charge. I said, yeah, like a doctor. So she's like, oh, I'm the person in charge. I said, but not a doctor. Right? Just wanted to clear that you're not the doctor, but you're in charge. So I'm just trying to understand that. That is the sarcasm, and yes, I did have it at that level. Like, so let's be clear whom I'm speaking with. So let me get a name, because I don't want to be calling you the head doctor. So she's like, no, the head administrator. I said, oh, so you're not a doctor. Okay, so clearly I get her name. So she starts to explain to me that he has not been removed, he has not been transferred, that he has been admitted to the hospital, but he is pending a bed. Now, I must remind you guys that I worked at Columbia Presbyterian at a significant period of time. So I'm a little familiar with these terminologies that you admit somebody, but you haven't found them a bed yet. So they are in a holding pattern. That's the language at the hospital, just in case you do not know it. You know, we're all about words around here. So he was holding or pending a bed, whatever it was. So I'm listening to her. So then she says, we have, I said, oh, well, do you have any estimates? Like, do I have to wait to discharge time at 11 o'clock for him to get a bed? If this is your situation now at 3:45 in the morning? Are we waiting until 11 o'clock? Noon? Like, what are we doing? Where are we at? What does his numbers look like? I said, well, of course, I can't ask you about his care because you're not the doctor. You're the administrator. So I said, so she's like, yeah, we have a 205 bed capacity. We are a 205 bed capacity hospital. So now we start to talk some language I can relate to. I was like, oh, she said, we got 300 patients. So his number of which bed he's going to get and this and that. I said to her, I said, whoop, whoop, whoop. I said, oh, excuse me, Administrator Jolene, Jelani, or whatever the fuck your name is, right? Julie, Joanne. It's a J something, some fucking J name, right? So I was like, excuse me. So what are you doing? Oh, so they have transferred me to the right person. She said, yes, I've been speaking to you. I said, yes, because you're the person who has the ability to now transfer him to a facility that is not over your capacity. Now, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't have time to see how much over capacity you have. But if you're a 200 bed hospital, right, and you've got 300 patients, you're a little over 50%, you're at 150% capacity. Now, just in layman's terms. So what efforts have you taken, Miss Administrator, to have him relocated to a hospital in your ecosystem of hospitals that can care for him since you have this bed capacity? This bitch says you can call around and find the hospital for him. I said, absolutely not. You are the administrator. Administrate. I said, and I'm glad you gave me these numbers because as soon as 9 a.m. hits, I will be on the phone with Governor Cuomo's office talking about your capacity without any hesitation. And I will be reminding him that you're not following the guidelines of moving the patients out of your ecosystem when you are above capacity. Now, I do know that the hospitals were supposed to exceed their capacity, but let me ask y'all a question. Why is this bitch talking to me about capacity? So as we speaking on capacity, bitches, you know me, I'm getting dressed. I'm putting on jeans. I'm getting on my things. I'm trying to decide which t-shirt I want to wear. Then I just put on my hoodie. So as we're talking, she's like, well, I'm going to have the doctor call you back. Let me take your information and this and that. I was like, bitch, you done said the wrong word. You done told me now to look some shit up and call some people and see if I can make arrangements to transfer somebody from my bed, from my home. When this is your job, you the administrator there. I'm supposed to do this? No, I don't think so. I think we are in the wrong business here. And I'm good with that. I'm really good with that. So I done got myself dressed, then took my ass downstairs, got inside the car, then drove a traffic light. And then I'm like, oh shit, wait a minute. I need my daddy's clothes. I gotta go all the way back to get his clothes. Because I done washed my daddy's clothes. I done ironed my daddy's clothes. I done did everything to pick up my daddy. So I'll go back, get his stuff, go back, get inside the car again, start my journey off again, get to the hospital, and speak to security. They send out the nurse. So the nurse speaks to me, and the nurse tells me he's asleep. So I'm like, good. Because I ain't heard from him in like 3 hours. So I'm glad his ass is asleep. So I speak to the nurse, he's asleep, yada, yada, yada. She tells me his vitals have entered into a good area. And now they're going to see if it's stabilized. They're going to remove the IV. They're going to put him on meds and make a routine med. So she says to me, and then, but you do understand if he's on home hospice, that this means that, you know, he's going to transition out of us. I said to her, yeah, but he's not on home hospice anymore. She said, what do you mean he's not on home hospice? I said, he was on home hospice and the 6 months of home hospice ended and he did not end. So let's be clear. Home hospice, you know, hospice, HOSPICE, the place you go to die, the situation you go to die in. He did not die. He did not expire on their watch. He exceeded their time frame. Now, no one's to say that he may not expire any day now or any month in the future, any year from now, or in years from now. There's always that potential. But for that story, that chapter that they wrote on his life came and went. And he exceeded their expectations. And he's still with us. So, yeah, no, he's not, no. So I was like, it got turned. So then she says to me, oh, well, there is another program, la, 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 la. Well, who was monitoring him since then? I said, I really don't know. You have to ask my sister. But the purpose of me being here right now is to get my father. I came to collect my father. So I understand that you got him sleeping. I'll come back later. But if there's no bed, no care. So she says, I can assure you that we got him in a section back there that's all to himself. He's not, whatever. Da 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 da. She gave me a nice thing. But now common sense gotta come in at some point. I can't move my dad if he's sleeping. So as soon as he wakes up and he calls me this morning, I'll be like, you ready to go? Because I'm ready to come get you. And we getting the fuck up out of Dodge. We're not staying there to catch y'all Rona up inside your shit. You got patients inside the waiting room that were fucking screaming, carrying on. This man did a hula hoop jump down some shit off of a chair inside the waiting room. So the nurse who was talking to me, gonna grab my hand. I'm like, bitch, we in Corona times and you grabbing my hand because you scared of this black man over here. I gave that man one look. I said, mister, go have a seat somewhere. Fuck out of here with this bullshit. You go have a seat somewhere. He told me, I was sitting down. No, you're not sitting down. Go have a seat, sir. She like, oh, this. I'm like, yeah, cause I think my dad out of here, cause I can't deal with this kind of shit right here. Yes, yes. That's just crazy. Like I don't even know how. So the security guard, black Jamaican woman, she was in the back and she came back. She said that's exactly what I would have told him. So the nurse bid me adieu, and I'm about to leave out. And the security guard said to me, "I went back there to see to see." She said, "Cause I'm looking at you and I'm looking at you. Talk to this nurse." She said, "Your dad is in the back. He's got this thing around. They got the." What does she call it? The drawing, curtains drawn. He's in the last section in the back to the corner. There's no patient in that next unit that would be next to him. I said, oh, a place with no, with all of this, no bed capacity. And she said they put the machines and everything in between him, and then there's the next patient or whatever. So she said, I have to tell you that she's about accurate right now. I don't want you to leave here and be uncertain. And she said, this is what else the woman said, you conducted yourself much better than I would be conducting myself, and much better than most white people who come in here concerned about their loved ones. You are a classy fucking lady, is what the lady says to me. The security guard who went back there without me even nudging her, asking her, pleading with her, anything her to go look. She tried to give me that reassurance. She said, but in the morning, get your father up out of here because the story ain't getting no better. Like, so that's it. I come home. I'm chilling. My mother. She's like, I said, let me check and get my name on the account so that I can change out his phone because my father is working with a broke phone at the hospital. So let me get him a working phone. And I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to get my father a working phone and I'm going to fix some people in this equation. But I go in I got to have my mother because she's the account holder. So I'm trying to get my name added to it. In the interim, my sister called my mother. So I'm still on the house phone talking to the Spectrum because that's who they have their phone service with. So I'm on there talking to them. And my sister is like, why did Monica go to the hospital at 3:00 in the morning? So now, just for the record, I was on the phone with the motherfuckers at 3:00 in the morning, but I didn't go to the hospital until 5:00 in the morning because I didn't really know where the fuck I was going. And I need to have somebody on my back. So I have to call 6 years, right? And I have to speak to him. He's the only person that I know right now that can understand what I'm going through. So I'm talking to him as I'm leaving to go to the hospital and everything. So I have to wait till a time when I think he's at work that I could speak to him while I'm doing this. Because the least thing I'm going to do is act a stupid fool with him on the line. He'll never let me live it down. And he lost his dad in this hospital. So he already done told me, why are you leaving him there? Why are you letting them take him there? So we already going through that much of a conversation. And, I had him on the phone the whole time. I was in my transit mood, everything. He's right there every step of the way. So my sister is now on the tip of shit. She's like, oh, because you want to do this and this and that. So I had to give her business. And I'm always prepared to give her the business Because if she had mind her fucking business in the first place, we wouldn't be in the situations that we're in today. But if she wasn't in her Wonder Woman moment, wanting to be like me and do the things that I do like me and can't handle the situations like me, I don't know what else to tell you. But I will say this to her credit. She has done the best job at caring for them that she could do. And I appreciate what she has done. But she needs to let go now because she's not making good decisions. There is no reason why home hospice left, and he wasn't dead, dying, or about to die, that they left him with no continuity of care. There's no reason for that. None whatsoever. And so that's where we are at. That's where I'm at. Those are the things that are going through my mind this morning. And I'm just like, So you cannot be telling folks that you've done a great job when the job is not over. There is more tasks to be completed. There's more endeavors to do. Now, my dad asked me to help him, and I plan on helping him. I don't plan on being a distraction. I don't plan on trying to be fighting with people or vying for attention, affection, and love, because I love me more than anything on this planet. I got my kids that I've been blessed with, and I adore them to the appropriate levels. But I am well-rounded. I'm not going through no emotional anything. If I lose my father today, tomorrow, next week, next year, next month, I'm going to be good because I know who I am and I know what I've been through and I know where I've been. So she's like, oh, for 6 years, you haven't. Absolutely. See, don't go fighting me. Do not begin to fight me when you are reaping what you sowed. I'm good. I took 6 years after the fire to build myself up. Look around me. I'm not doing bad. Things could be a whole lot worse. I'm not in that place. Never have been. I wish more people could find solace in their life. Really find points in their life where they are content with what they're doing. So now I done gave y'all the whole story from beginning to end as it stands right now. So somebody contacts me later on and go like, I don't understand. I'm missing a chapter. Close the book on it. This is one day or a little snippet of a moment into my life when I come live at 7 o'clock in the morning and just want to walk people through the moment. I want to encourage you to be consistent with who you are. Set some goals for yourself. Keep a journal, write your logs, plan your life, but don't let anything overwhelm you. What concerns me? It's not the narrative my sister paints because she's painted a narrative and she's living with the consequence of it. What concerns me right now is that I have a father inside a hospital without corona who is probably being exposed to it as I speak. who will come back in my immediate area and I may be exposed when I have tried my damnedest to protect me. Protect him, protect my tea. Um, because I gotta be here for 2027. Nothing matters to me beyond September 2027. I got a date as clear as day. So I have a direction and a goal point that I'm getting to. And nothing's going to distract me. Nothing's going to distract me from that point. Thank you very much. The lady told me what the name of the program is. I'm in New York. I'm going to pick up my phone and call 311. And I'm going to tell 311 what the situation is, all the way down to their bed capacity at that motherfucking hospital. And I am going to reach out to the governor's office. And I'm going to tell him that they got one patient in there without no damn coronavirus. And they can't effectively manage his care to get him into a place where he's supposed to be. But send me the information that you got because I know how to have the conversation. I'm not in my emotions about it. I have my expectations managed. What I'm not going to have is anybody try to assassinate my character because motherfuckers do that all the time. But you're not going to break my spirit. So for those sitting in the cheap seats, y'all just holler amen from hallelujah from the mountaintops, from the rooftops down to the wherever. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be okay. But I already see where this is taking it. I'm so mad that I am hanging on to an extra financial burden because I know that the ground is not firm here. I know the foundation is shaky. And that's about it. There comes a time when people try to transfer. Jealousy is a hard road. I've experienced it in many places. I've even experienced it here on this YouTube space. People being jealous of me just because I wake up and I'm in a good place. It's for I'm tired of people feeling like they got all the answers. I'm tired of and I've encountered this in this space, right? Even with the Alethea situation, right, which was very apparent, people were so concerned. Good morning, Ms. GTV. Good morning. People were so concerned about how I was supporting Alethea, right? They were so concerned with it. What they saw happen under my support wing with Alethea, they saw Alethea lash back at people, right, under her own guise. They saw me empower, embolden her. They saw her become stronger when she was all weak and all this other bullshit. They saw it. I did get wind of some fucking video last night, and motherfuckers always talking bullshit, talking about, Faith, Shirley, girl. You keep trying to create a vision that you didn't have nothing to do with Alethea's money going out the window. All I can tell you, and this is based on evidence, okay? This is evidence. I got videography, video documentation that I have in my own entourage that you, Faith, are a leech. That's it. Just a big ass leech. And the bottom line is You were going to get her for whatever dime, penny, nickel, quarter you could get out of her in respect to Private Ryan. If you don't know Private Ryan, you still had the plus aspect of it. And I'm never going to take that away from what I've said about you. So I don't give a fuck what Reckless has to say. I don't give a fuck what P. Smith has to say. I don't give a fuck what Myron has to say. I don't give a fuck what any of y'all have to say, because you, Faith, know that you were trying to get something for yourself out of that situation. You was there getting something for yourself. That's why you were going to pretend as if you was going to come up here and participate in the wedding. That is why people were asking you, where is the motherfucking dress? Because you told her you purchased a dress and you wanted to be reimbursed for your shit. Okay? So you know damn well what you were up to. Period. End of story. So stop trying to be like, it was a fake ass this and it was a fake ass that. There was nothing fake about it, because why was you there involved in it if it was fake? If it was a fraudulent activity that was created by Alethea, why were you involved? Why were you on the phone trying to get a phone back? Why were you on the phone sending your daughter to an address to redeem the money? Why were you involved in all of that if it was fraudulent? Why would you do that? So that's just, that's just it on this world, this world of stuff. It don't make no sense. It just, it's not realistic. It's not wholesome. The problem with this evangelical wing of the YouTube that I'm still connected with, right, is that you pretend to do good deeds for people, right, under the guise of God. God is going to get you, suckers. Really, he is. When your day of judgment comes, it's not going to be based on what Monica Mo Justice has to say. It's going to be based on your freaking deeds. Trust you me, the aggravated moments I had with Alethea, I have paid it forward for some good times ahead. But trust you me, every good thing is in store for me. What I would not become was a pawn in her game. You understand? I would not allow myself to be raped of my money to give to somebody just because they have a sob story. I learned the word when I got here on the YouTube, a steward. Alethea is no steward of her money. She will use her money. Some of you people use your pussies to buy men. She used her money to buy friendships, to buy relationships into people. Allegedly. Because she didn't buy me no big screen TVs. She didn't buy me all this shit that she says that she bought her friends and family. No, not family, but her friends that she treated like family. The Miss Greens and stuff. And those are all allegations, because I am committed that when the spring comes again and it's nice and warm outside, that I am going to travel to South Plainfield and I'm going to roll up on everybody involved in Alethea's case. I want people to remember that I'm not going to go nowhere. And I'm going to let those people know that she done told the whole fucking world that they gypped her out of the money. I'm going to reach out and find out, did she really call the police on her neighbors because they allegedly took her money? Did she ever get this back? Yeah, so there are some things that I'm going to touch on. Oh, absolutely. There is a liar in Alethea. Do not get me wrong. But it's not the lies that Faith wants you to believe, or the rest of the clan wants you to believe, because they still all work together. They still are in. Let me just say this. Let me use some more. Work together is real primitive. They're all in concert with each other, with one another. One thing leads to the other. So I'm always been convinced that there's more to this than meets the eye. That's why one has to keep trying to put it out there. If there was no there, one wouldn't even speak on it. Other than to say, I've been wronged. But no, instead of saying, I was lied on, instead of saying I was lied on, she instead insists, right? This is just crazy. This is Faith words. I heard it come out of her mouth, my own two ears. That it's people. Alethea was doing something. Nah. Y'all looked around here and y'all saw who had money that you could beg off of some money, who was easy targets, and you zeroed in on it. That's why every year the turnaround comes back to what holiday scandal you can be involved in. Notice I didn't say scam, I said scandal, because this shit just becomes scandals, one after the other. It's never ending. You guys are so primitive with your language. You know, cavemen have better vocabularies than most of the motherfuckers around here. A caveman has a better vocabulary than most of you motherfuckers around here. Those are facts. Those are more facts. If you want to know what it is, those are facts. But at the end of the day, you guys work. Yes, it's a holiday scandal every year. There'll be another one next year. And then they will spend the whole month of December and January dissecting it. What other cycles of scandal will we deal with? This year, you people, right, as we just reflect on the year that just passed, you people took Monica Mo Justice and y'all did a whole campaign about me on the anniversary of Kanika's death. That weekend, the scandal was me. You made me bigger than Kanika. Where they do that shit at? Dormant mentality, do that shit. Over and over again. It's just it's a repeat cycle of bullshit from bullshitters. That's why it's bullshit. Nobody's more y'all just, y'all deserve each other. What more can I say? Y'all built from the same spec. Lord knows you can't do nothing differently. You don't know how. This is all you know. This is your normalcy. This is all the shit that makes y'all great to one another. Because to civil people that, go out in the street and really interact with people that are law-abiding citizens, y'all shit is abnormal. Let me tell y'all how abnormal it is. Did y'all watch Gear's video? When he's in Walmart, he's at FEMA, aka Walmart. He's at Walmart explaining to the Walmart workers this story. And if you listen to the women, they're like, what the fuck? Now, they might be diggy down dirty and some shit, but they couldn't even comprehend the bullshit he was saying. They couldn't even comprehend the bullshit he was telling them. It sounds like a fairy tale. Hell to the year. It's weird. It's weirdo shit. But it's a weirdo shit that goes on in this cyberspace. This shit y'all created up in here. This y'all bullshit that y'all this is what y'all want this stuff to be like. Cause you need entertainment. You're misfits, fixing out of something else. And I'm using fixing because I know that when people are looking for drug hits, they be fixing to get some shit. They fitting to do this and they fitting to do that. Y'all understand that southern slower shit? Y'all understand that? Y'all got that shit under control. You're undesirables. Your lives are miserable. And in your miserable state, you really try to bring along other people. You understand? Like, you don't care if somebody really duped a person out of their money on here. All you want to be like is, how does somebody have $10,000 to just let it go? Swindle away. Or you was in the perspective of, how can I get that $10,000 on my side of the equation? I put nothing past you motherfuckers. And the reason why I know that y'all just that, because people spent a lifetime on here worrying about if I was going to get 10% of nothing. And that's exactly what I got. I got 10% of nothing. But a valuable lesson that I take away from. And this is why I'm prepping myself so I can handle other situations, because I've learned how to manage some stuff in the midst of this bullshit. In the midst of this bullshit, I've learned how to manage some shit. Much needed. Much needed. Very much so. And anybody that told anybody to come over here because I was talking about somebody, yeah, I got 10%. They are absolutely right. I got 10% of fucking nothing. 10% of nothing is nothing. But people, want to worry about what I got. How did I benefit? Going back to the lessons from Wonder Woman. Going back to the moral of that story. It's something that you can see right in front of your face right now. Wanting to be like somebody else, wanting to live vicariously through someone else can cost you who you are. Be your mother freaking self. Get off the drugs. You motherfuckers are on here higher than a kite. You can't even get your life together because you too fucked up. I listen to some of y'all, and y'all be up here rolling your shit on the lives and whatever, and want to act like you promoting this marijuana usage and shit. No, you're fucked up in the game. Your shit is so fucked up. Your life is fucked up. Y'all live fucked up lives. Many people on here worry. Notice I use the word many people. So not all of you, but many of you worry about the 1% that you can never be like. You ever worried about the 1% that you are being? The 1% that I'm seeing on this internet space, I'm saying to myself, you cannot represent me as a Black woman. Shout out to you, fuckface, woman of color. Because I'm a woman of color. You cannot represent me. And I hate the fact that this internet space has given you the ability to show that dysfunctional side of humanity. Because where there are black fucked up people like you guys, there are equivalent white fucked up people like y'all also. And somewhere in some kind of communities, there may be some Asians like you, some South Pacific. There may be other dysfunctional people just like you, but we haven't encountered them because we don't go into their spaces. But y'all out here in the open, just being as counterproductive and as destructive to human race of the black kind here. Y'all fucked up lifestyles, y'all fucked up. Everything about it is just fucked up. Hang on, I'm looking for my phone because I'm surprised that we going all this time. And that's it. Now I have one more sister I have to deal with. Hang on. Because I promised this sister. Um, Now I find her number. I didn't even waste my time programming her number into my phone because so many of y'all write me. I'm gonna have to make a special tab. Dum 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 dum. All right, let me see who this okay is from. Okay, so that's that's that. I need to find. I hate moving because now I don't know what I did with the. I don't know what I did with the makeup brushes. Everything on my side of that window situation, I don't know where shit is at. That's from that. Um, yeah, that's about where I am at in these equations. But I see like when I make simple sense to people, it don't make real sense. And that's that. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Let me just give y'all an update on. We talked about similar chefing because I don't want to like be far fetched from where we were at and let too much time go between shit. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know where that thing is at. Okay, so let me see. Anything, anything else? Oh, this thing is just going to really bother the hell out of me. Um, okay, in terms of the stimulus money, um, I listened to yesterday. I was listening to C-SPAN so that I can hear the testimonies of the people, the Congress people, right? So I was a little confused by something and I couldn't gain no clarity on it. Yesterday they were holding talks. So I don't know if this was pre-recorded or on a veto. See, I ain't got time for this shit either today. I don't want to use up all your minutes. But what are you doing today? What are you doing today? Okay. Without telling me where you're going, is she in the same building that you're living in? Okay. All right. I don't really want to drive down to that area. It's going to be so congested. Where you at in that 35th Street, 32nd Street, that's a real congested point um to be at. Do you have money? No, see, the question is simple. Do you have money? That's a yes or a no. Okay, so that's a no. You don't have money. Okay. All right. Okay, because I was gonna tell you to come up. I was gonna tell you to come uptown because I would be on 145th, but it's probably gonna strike into your time. What does the case manager do? Okay, so what do you do with the voucher next? Okay. All right. So they gave you an action plan. You just gotta execute. Okay. All right. All right. When I get to Manhattan, I will tell you where I'm at. I'll come down to that area. And though I don't want to, I will come down to that area and I'll come down to that area. All right, stop sending mail here because this is getting too much. Delivery. Yeah, I'm gonna give you my PO box, and I'll try to get you a key to the PO box so you could go to the PO box and you could check it and get mail to the PO box. I gotta see what the procedure is to get another key to the PO box, but it's on 116th Street because you know, I'm sorry this is happening to you, but I'm limited as to what I could do to help. But that's it. And Daddy's in the hospital, so I figured no one called you and told you, but I just wanted you to know. Anyway, I'm gonna try to reach out so you can get what belongs to you. Okay, I'll speak it to you later. Love you. All right, bye. Yeah. Um. So the stimulus money is the stimulus money, and that's it. Um. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, and I don't want to go down to fucking, the dropping of the ball is a whole big issue, and that's it. Anyway, such is life. Such is life. Such is life. All right, if there's nothing else to add, oh, I know what I was going to say, just about the stimulus money. I was working out another mathematical problem too, because Bernie Sanders spoke and he said he was very specific about giving $2,000 to each adult. So he was very specific in his outreach. But I'm not sure if people have really looked at what the bill was that the House of Representatives passed. What I will say is that the last phase of this whole thing. So in that same scenario, you can have a family of four, which is two adults, be $4,000, and then have two children and get $1,200. Oh, it's not gonna
It's
happen.
not gonna happen. Mitch McConnell just threw a whole wrench in there.
I was about to say that, but that would be 3,200. Okay, what is that? I'm gonna come back because I want to know what's this 230 issue about. Platforms like ours and freedom of speech is on the docket also. Yeah, she's saying Mitch McConnell blocked the 2,000 because he wanted. Well, I heard him objecting to each of the requests to have unanimous consent or the request for consent to move forward. This is why the vote in Georgia is so important. You cannot run government in this manner. You cannot have one man blocking the show where that one man becomes the ex officio president. Hear what I'm saying. One man becomes the president that we as a people did not elect. He becomes the president because he blocks everything. I hear what you're saying, Karen, and I saw that as well. But what was on debate on the floor said that what they were debating was the president's veto, overriding a veto. I don't believe. So, what I'm saying is, we're listening to news reports of what the media has presented to us. Now, everybody is always anti media. The media has presented to us that the president signed this, but the Congress was meeting and they entitled the conversation, they titled it, the hearings were on the veto. They were having whatever discussion was on was to override the president's veto of the $600. So
Having the alcohol, it was in his bottle.
who put the alcohol in the bottle?
No, it was in his bottle. I opened it. It's not there.
No, that might not be alcohol.
It says alcohol.
Who wrote alcohol?
I didn't write alcohol.
No, it could be the Windex or anything
That's
else.
not what Windex smells like.
Okay, it does smell like alcohol, but I didn't put no alcohol in no bottle. Okay, they were so go to C-SPAN, and I hate to do this. I'm ready, T. We could leave in 5 minutes.
Not yet.
It's not adding up. I think they called it debate because you need to know the exact words of it. I think they called it debate. Um, what was yesterday, the 29th? So, the debate was over, it says debate over stimulus checks jolts Senate Republicans as McConnell plans next steps. But the debate was entitled, they were debating over overriding the president's veto. So although he signed the bill, allegedly, it sounds like he put some extent, some veto type language what he signed. So there's something that they're debating. So we don't have all the information.
Trump wants 230 repealed so that he can sue big tech companies for putting flags on what he says on the internet.
Okay, thank you for explaining that to me. So T is explaining to me that the 230 bill has to do with freedom of speech. And Trump wants to sue the tech companies. He wants to sue like platforms like YouTube and Facebook, etc., for allowing. I saw that language also. So let me finish this one thought, and then I'll go to your statement. He wants the right to sue them for defamation, basically. And defamation, because he is a celebrity status, is easier for him to prove because he could say that he was the defamation of his character was out here so much so that he lost the election behind it, and he can prove that to be damages because he held the seat for 4 years as president, and then he lost the seat based on whatever was being put in the public arena. So he can say that honestly, and he may potentially win those arguments depending on which courthouse he lodges them in. That 230 really impacts us with this kind of space and what kind of information we could have because we are censored in the things that we have. Okay, Yvonne is coming in with something else. I just told T I gave her the 5 minute warning that we was leaving. The word here, Karen, and I saw it also this morning, it says some people should have their checks depending if they have direct deposit. Okay. Some people should have their checks. That's not how that law was written. So when it got signed on the 21st, there's a 7-day gap between when it is fulfilled. So no one should be receiving any checks before the 7-day grace period. Any law gets passed, it's not effective immediately. It has a grace period before it goes into effect. So that's one big caveat. So telling people that they should be receiving the money is hopeful thinking. When you're speaking absolutes is what we should be dealing with. And the language that we should hear is on or about blah, 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 blah. You will receive this money. We will be sending out this money. It's not no should. Should never be in that conversation. So the minute I saw that and I saw the should, I was like, oh, these people think we stupid. We need to be conscious of the wording. So I did see that part with the should. This one right here, let me see what it says. Trump's bill was going to block eviction. McConnell blocked that bill. So if McConnell want people to get $2,000, but evictions will begin, so a lot of people affected will be homeless. You may have some, I believe her. I believe that. And let me tell you why I believe that. Because I look at actions. In New York, because that's where I live at, our governor took up an eviction moratorium to protect people from now until May 2021 from evictions. If there is an eviction part of a federal bill, he would have not needed to take the actions to protect people in his state from eviction. So there may be some merit in what Yvonne just wrote based on the actions that I've seen Governor Cuomo take in New York. Because there would be no reason to take that kind of action if there was something that was protecting them. Moreover, in New Jersey, about a month ago, that governor took on some ways to protect people from being evicted in New Jersey. And New Jersey is you pay, you stay state. If you don't pay, they don't give a fuck. Out you go. They are that Republicanist in their thought process when it comes down to not paying your rent. You pay, you stay. If you don't, there are very few social programs in the state of New Jersey to keep you in your residence. They don't have a problem looking at homeless people on the street. They don't have a problem. It makes a whole lot of sense. Lastly, on McConnell, and then I'm going to go and we can come back later on. McConnell also deals in this. What's happened in, he needs to worry about what's going on in his Kentuckian backyard. They're firing the officers. In the Breonna Taylor case, they have put out a recommendation for the firing of 2 specific officers. The first officer being the officer who fired the fatal shot to Breonna Taylor. So although he was not convicted or anything, they're firing him for being the person that did the fatal shot. That's going to be I'm going to tell y'all right now, that's the step they're taking. And now here's my personal opinion on it. That is not going to hold mustard with police unions, with advocates, and he's going to have a right to defend himself on that. And what's going to probably end up happening, because there got to be a win-lose situation here, for the public arena, he needs to be fired. And y'all going to get y'all wish because y'all been marching up and down, talking about whoever the y'alls are who've been marching for this, have been marching for some action to be taken. And on the back end of it, then the city is going to pay him a significant amount of money for firing him. I'm just bringing you to the last thing that's going to happen. So while you're demanding for action on the police officers and the police officers to get fired, he's going to be fired, the one that fired the fatal shot. But he will not. He will collect some money at the end of the day. But what I found interesting, they didn't specify which officer, because I believe that several officers were shooting, but the one that fired the fatal shot is not the same as the officer who they have charged with all these charges over there. Whatever. Next situation, the second officer to be fired, and this absolutely makes sense, is the officer who requested the no-knock warrant. That is breaking news. That is fair. That's a fair thing. And I think he has very little recourse unless they really start tying all this other stuff, stuff. Right. They give the people, remember, this is Mitch McConnell's state. He's accustomed to answering what you ask for, literally, but not answering what you needed all the way around. He always looks for the literal sense of what you seek out of him. So that's what's going on there. More to come on that, of course. I'm like this with the Breonna Taylor story, but it's one of those that I agreed that we will continue to follow here with the new developments. And I just gave you my take on it. That's my personal opinion, but I also gave you the facts as they have been presented to me on December 30th. So they are subject to change. And as with the facts, if the facts change, my opinion associated with those facts may also change. Okay, so this is Mo, and I really have to go. I got much things to do today. But I will be back later on, and the book club will resume at 8 p.m. this evening.